We've got basketball. Here in New Orleans, Louisiana, at the New Orleans Arena, across from the Superdome, home of the Hornets, live on 2K Sports. Hi everyone, this is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. Going to bring you the NBA right here on 2K Sports. So a look at the starters for the Wizards. Beal and Ariza are out on the wing. Vesely out there with Okafor, and it's Wall in at the 1. And for New Orleans, Vasquez is in at the 1 with Gordon at the 2. Ryan Anderson out there with Anthony Davis, and it's Aminu in at the small forward. Wall passes to Beal. Vesely with the ball. Davis is on it. The kick out to Wall. Off the mark there with the three-point shot.
And, of course, the #1 overall pick back in 2010, John Wall. So much potential as a point guard. Unbelievable speed. Still working on his perimeter shot, but just an explosive talent who has a world of potential.
And so the New Orleans Hornets get the first points of the ballgame. Vesely with the ball. Ariza kicks to Wall. 5 to shoot. It's blocked. They get it back. Good. Here is Vasquez. Here in the first, a little over a minute played so far. Back to Davis. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on John Wall. That is his first foul of the game. And for John Wall, who battled an assortment of injuries in his rookie season, Clark, staying relatively healthy in year 2, allowed him to better gauge his progress.
Yeah, and that's part of the learning process that everybody goes through. It's a journey, and even though you're the #1 pick and you have tremendous physical gifts, it's not going to be handed to you. And John Wall said himself he thought he was a little better, but not as much as he had hoped for. And a lot of expectations riding on his shoulders. But I think if he continues to progress, he'll meet those expectations before his career is done.
He made that offensive rebound count. Nice job collecting the second chance points.
Well, now we go to Doris Burke, who spoke with Randy Whitman. Doris?
He said that one player he's really wary of is Anthony Davis, adding he can impact the game in so many ways. Defense, shot blocking, rebounding, and scoring. He's still adding muscle, and we've got to capitalize on that strength advantage at both ends. Kevin, that's the MO for any young player. We'll see how he stands up to it.
Thanks again, Doris. On defense, Washington. Gordon dishes to Davis. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Well, the things to love about Anthony Davis, he's 6'10". He's got a 7'4" wingspan. He can block shots, but he's quick enough to cover out on pick and roll. And he's so good offensively. He's got an array of skills down on the block. Left-handed jump hooks, turnaround jumper. It's just a matter of him getting stronger so that he can hold up to the physical play in the NBA.
First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. Here is Vasquez, covered by Wall. And here's Aminu, up with it. Davis. Beal pulls it in. And for Anthony Davis, Clark, a great combination of length and mobility. Great defense, timing. He grew so much in high school. He began as a point guard, so he has a lot of those skills.
Yeah, and he's actually very good defensively. He's got an understanding of how to play defensively. He's got the mobility to be able to effectively defend some of those mobile, good shooting forwards that are part of the NBA now.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on John Wall. That's his 3rd foul of the game.
You know, it's really a bit surprising that the coach kept him on the floor this long. And because he did, he's picked up his 3rd foul now.
And the Wizards making a change here. Temple's checked in. Now here's Gordon. Tries it from 9. And Davis with the basket on the assist by Eric Gordon. And it's 6 points for Anthony Davis.
You know, anytime you're going to try to compare the strength of the conferences, I think you need to look at the bottom. And the Hornets were at the bottom of the West, but still fared pretty well against the East.
I like that method. That's a pretty good recipe.
Boy, they were not wasting any time on that fast break.
Well, when it starts with the turnover, that's the best time to get out and run. You can beat the defense down the floor that way.
Here's Temple. He passes to Vesely. And there's the feed to Ariza. Temple the pass to Ariza. And he says right back at you with a big dunk of his own.
I think it just got a little hotter in here, Kev. What an exchange.
I like that, though, Clark. That's what this game's all about.
Well, they're going to tear these rims down, guys. I mean, how about a jump shot or two?
An open lane right there. Pretty much saw the daylight he wanted and took advantage.
Yeah, great opportunity, and he seized it without much hesitation.
Yeah, a little too easy, if you ask me. The defense really needs to tighten things up here.
And the Wizards with possession, following the score by New Orleans. Off target from outside. Going back to what you said, the Hornets finished with 21 wins last year, right? And 7 of them came against Eastern foes.
1/3.
Yeah, there's something there, Steve.
Well, I think more than anything, it just tells you that the East wasn't very good. I mean, to be honest, they went 7-11 against Eastern Conference foes and 21 wins overall. So this was a bad Hornets team faring decently against a bad conference.
Davis kicks to Aminu. And it's New Orleans scoring again. We've got 13 seconds left here in the first quarter. Here's Temple. Got it up. That misses. Would have kind of had it gone in. And that does it for the first quarter. Hornets on top. 10. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. Looking at what we've seen from the Hornets, what do you think?
Solid first quarter for this club. They came out strong and put together some nice momentum here.
Steve, I like the looks they've gotten on offense. A lot of good ones.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. Setting the floor for the Hornets. Gordon the off guard with Aminu at the 3. Anthony Davis is out there with Ryan Anderson, and it's Vasquez in at the point guard position. And here we go, the Wizards fast break. Wall with the ball, can't hit from the low block.
Anthony Davis, the #1 overall pick in the draft, a national champion and most outstanding player of the Final Four with Kentucky, and the potential is just incredible. So skilled, so big, good kid, likes coaching, loves basketball. He's got an incredible future ahead of him.
And a chance here to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Well, Kevin, this offseason, star shooting guard Eric Gordon signed a large offer sheet with the Phoenix Suns as a restricted free agent. The Hornets then matched the offer, but not before Gordon said that Phoenix was the franchise for him and, quote, where his heart was. Guys, the Hornets are hoping Gordon buys into what they're doing in New Orleans. Coach Monty Williams warned, we want people that want to be here. If you don't want to be here, then we have to make some adjustments. We'll see how it plays out, gentlemen.
That'll be the question. Thanks, Doris. Nene, defended by Anderson. Nene down low, working on Anderson. The shot by Nene, no good. And Clark, for Davis, the offense going to come, but, you know, he is seen as a player who can be a franchise defensive presence, and that might be enough right there.
Well, last year in college, he averaged 5 block shots per game, the most blocks ever by an NCAA freshman, 4th overall in the history of NCAA hoops. So he's going to block shots, and he actually keeps a lot of them in bounds, so that'll impact any team he plays for, even at the NBA level.
Yeah, Kevin Davis was one of the most prolific shot blockers in college basketball history, despite only playing for 1 season at Kentucky.
And Steve, what you notice about him is he can go out on the perimeter and block shots. Impeccable timing in terms of his shot blocking and defensive presence. Very mobile and a thinker out there at the defensive end of the floor.
Well, it's been a painful few years for the Wizards, who have tried to build through the draft and added a lot of talented young players, but it just hasn't clicked. And I think that's one of the reasons they ended up making the trade of JaVale McGee for Nene with Denver last year.
Good work turning that into an easy 2-point. He can attack the rim as well as anybody.
Down low, tipped. No good. And Washington the other way now. Back to what Steve was talking about with the Washington Wizards. They have tried to build through the draft, but that trade seemed to help them, I think, Clark, along the way.
And part of building through the draft just isn't about keeping everybody you have. It's about gathering the assets, stockpiling the assets you need to build a team. And sometimes that includes trading for guys like Nene.
Here's Beal. The Hornets making the shot. The pass to Booker. To the paint. And Beal kicks to Nene. Nice ball movement by Washington. Wall's shot is off.
I'm sure he'd like to have a do-over here. He just hasn't been able to make a significant contribution in this one.
Wizards trail by 6. Leaves the dishes to Beal. .141 left here in the second. And again, Washington no good.
Well, you look at Hornets coach Monty Williams, the youngest head coach in the NBA, was an assistant with the Blazers for 5 seasons and was a favorite with a lot of the players there. Quickly rose up the list as a candidate for a head coaching position before being hired in New Orleans back in 2010. That's grace over power, guys. That finger roll gets him 2 points. Impressive stuff.
They double him with Wall. The kick out to Anderson. Back to Davis. Outside Gordon. Left side Davis. Shot clock at 6. Shoots from 14. Ariza with the rebound. Ariza's got his 5th rebound in this one. And Coach Williams, a defensive-minded guy, really gets his team, Steve, to buy in at that end of the floor.
Well, when you coach under Nate McMillan, which he did, Monty Williams did in Portland, you know you're going to get a tutorial about defense and effort. And that's the way Williams really wants to be known as a coach. Tough, defensive-minded, and a guy who's going to work his tail off.
And the Hornets making a change here. Lopez is checked in. Gordon covered by Wall. Here's Anderson using his post move to get the 2 points. Anderson's got his first basket.
Can't pass up that kind of look.
To the middle. Webster passes to Ariza. 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. That's good. And it's 6 points for Wall.
After going scoreless in the first, he's really found a way to turn it on here in the second quarter.
Lopez sets a screen for Gordon. He feeds it to Lopez. The dish to Aminu. Takes a 3. They get it again. Second quarter ends in a tight one. Hornets lead by...
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
20. And it's halftime out in New Orleans with a great one going on out there. Glad to have you with us. The Hornets looking good at the midway point. They've done a fantastic job pushing the break and the tempo. Easy buckets in transition. Anthony Davis certainly contributing with his play. He's got 10 points and 3 rebounds as well.
Welcome back, everybody. The start of the second half getting underway. Both teams battling hard through the first half. Anthony Davis really making a difference here.
Not a whole lot the defense can do because he's showing the entire repertoire down on the block.
Yeah, he sure is. It's been a post-move clinic down there from him so far. I mean, you think they'll keep feeding him the ball just because he's been so effective down there. Give it to him.
Taking a look at the Wizards. Riza and Nene make up the 2 forward spots. Wall and Beal, they're the back. And it's Okafor in at center.
Well, sooner or later, if the Wizards don't turn things around, I would expect there to be major changes because some of the decisions they've made have been a little questionable in terms of the draft picks, the free agent signings. And let's face it, there's always a shelf life for everybody in the NBA when you don't win.
That's his first personal foul. First team foul.
Vasquez kicks to Gordon. Davis. Nene on him. Davis dishes to Aminu. Back to Davis.
Oh, my goodness. What a huge play.
The defense just couldn't recover in time.
Yeah, the D pretty much went brain neutral on that one, Clark. Wouldn't
Yes,
you?
sir. I like that phrase.
Yeah, I don't use that phrase very often, but to me, that's what happened. He shifted the brain into neutral.
Yes, he did.
That was embarrassing.
And that was Sprite bringing you the close-up on that big-time play. The Hornets leading by 9. And for the Wizards, they have tried to remain patient throughout this rebuilding process they've gone through. But at some point, you know, Clark, the patience just won't be there anymore.
Well, the emotional attachment of the fans is hard to sustain if the team is hovering around the bottom of the standings every year. And as you pointed out, you know, the guys at the top, upper management wants to start seeing some results with these guys.
Just 4 to shoot. Here's Okafor. Hornets with the rebound. Davis has got 6 rebounds here tonight. Gordon goes in. Feeds it to Vasquez. Outside, Davis. Anderson, a screen on Okafor. Anderson passes to Davis. This one for 3. Vasquez can't get it to go. Wizards trail by 9. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
They got to find something. You're right.
Well, I tell you what, guys, his struggles from the field have definitely taken their toll on the team today. Rivas Vasquez, the first Venezuelan player ever drafted into the NBA, late first-round pick out of the University of Maryland.
Now here's Beal with the lead pass. Ariza kicks to Beal. Misses the 3.
Boy, they're fortunate. Defense was taking a big chance leaving him that wide open behind the arc.
The Hornets leading by 9. And Vasquez, a feisty combo guard. And Steve, who saw it in college, great passion for the game.
Yeah. He loves to play, Kevin. He comes out with a ton of energy. And what I like about him is he's got great size for a point guard, almost 6'6", and a real playmaker, a guy who thinks pass before shot.
And he sinks the second.
And, of course, the big story last year for New Orleans was the saga of the Chris Paul trade that wasn't to the Lakers and then the subsequent trade that was to the Clippers. And what a tough position for Monty Williams and his coaching staff to be in. But they handled it pretty well. I think as Eric Gordon gets healthy and more productive this year, the Hornets will improve. This is a very steady performance offensively for him.
Wizards trail by 9. And Wall kicks to Okafor. Stolen by Anderson. Well, the nation was watching that entire trade situation with Chris Paul and him eventually going to the Clippers. But good players, I think, Clark, ended up in New Orleans. Players they can probably build around for the future.
Yeah, and to follow up on what Steve said, the Hornets will be much better off with a healthy Eric Gordon. He's an outstanding young player, and last year will be a distant memory soon enough.
Robin Lopez is checked in for New Orleans. Pulls up. The rebound by Anderson. Anderson's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight.
And this is why they have the big lead. The rebounding has been dominant.
You know, guys, the +8 rebounding, I don't think it tells the whole story. I mean, they've been the more physical team from the outset. That's been the difference, their physicality.
The Hornets leading by 13. Here's Aminu. It's John Wall with the rebound. The Wizards shooting 41% for the game. He kicks to Ariza. And that comes off the assist by John Wall. And that's 12 points for Ariza. Vasquez kicks to Gordon. Kicks it to Vasquez. Pulls it up. Second shot opportunity. And that's 2 points on the layup.
I can imagine they're going to hear an earful about this next stop. I mean, that's 3 straight field goals given up right in the middle of the lane. Inexcusable.
Well, defense starts at the rim. You want teams shooting the ball from the outside, and that's not happening. They're just giving up everything inside.
Not stop. There's no way to stop that. I mean, there's nothing you can do when he's coming at him like that.
Well, that's right, Clark. Steve, he is a dangerous, dangerous player.
Yeah, especially when he gets to that launching pad right there in the lane. I mean, pretty one-handed finish. That was nice.
And here's Wall. He's got 6. Beal dishes to Ariza. Ariza with another miss. Now, here's Aminu. Inside. Out of bounds. Hornets ball as New Orleans keeps possession. It could go.
Kevin, they're firing on all cylinders.
And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. Hornets on top, up by 16. Don't go anywhere. The final quarter is coming up next on 2K Sports. Austin Rivers is out there with Xavier Henry. Then there's Robin Lopez. Then there's Al Farouk Aminu. And it's Anderson in at the center, locking down the middle. That's the Hornets 5. Out of bounds, Wizards ball as Washington keeps possession.
9 seconds on the shot.
Temple the pass to Vesely. Foul calls. Look like the D didn't get there in time, and he'll shoot free throws.
And for Vesely, guys, I mean, he didn't quite have the season the Wizards might have hoped for when they drafted him number 6 in last year's draft. I mean, he missed some time early with the hip issue and never really got on track or was able to assert himself.
Now here's Rivers. The shot misses. And Washington the other way now. Seraphin kicks to Temple. To the inside. Booker dishes to Temple. Shoots. It's rebounded by New Orleans.
And for Vesely, I think the focus has to be energy. You know, the skills and the muscle will come with time, but with his length and athleticism, if he can play hard, just come out and compete night after night, he can make a major impact on the game.
A nice shot by Rivers.
And defensively, remember, you got to fight through screens to avoid giving up open looks.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Steve. And the defense has to go over the top of that screen. I think that's how they get it done. Well, that makes 5 of their last 6 makes coming from inside.
Yeah, really focused on getting the ball into the paint because they're taking advantage of very porous defense down there.
Rebound by Webster. Wizards trail by 15. Here's Vesely. And the rebound goes to Lopez. Lopez has got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Henry passes to Rivers. Lopez. Some nice passing here by New Orleans. And Jan Vesely gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him. And the Hornets making a change here. Davis is checked in. Poked away. Stolen by Vesely. Game moves along. 2 minutes gone here in the fourth. And that one's good. Vesely's got 5 points in the quarter. Now here's Rivers. Back to Davis. Seraphin's there. Here's Rivers. Cans the shot from the wing. And the Hornets lead by 15. Wizards have gone 2 of 4 from the field since we started the final quarter of play. Here's Temple. And it's off from 3-point range. Well, they're really making a point of keeping the ball moving around.
Yeah, Steve and Kevin, you guys got to love this teamwork. I mean, everybody's involved and engaged. It's just a thing of beauty to watch.
Yeah, sure is. And when all 5 guys, Clark, are threats to score, that makes it so tough on the defense because now you can't account for everybody when the ball's moving so quickly. Well, last year the Chris Paul saga really dominated the headlines for New Orleans, but when you look back to it, you know, Paul handled it very maturely. I mean, he didn't go to the press and want.
Oh, how about that basketball fan? Wow. Well, I tell you what, it was the good pick that was set that turned him loose.
And once he got around it, Steve, it was smooth sailing right to the hole.
Well, because of the pick, he had plenty of room. That's why he was able to power down that slam.
Special thanks to Sprite for that sweet replay. Fourth quarter keeps moving right along. 3 minutes gone so far. Here's Rivers. No good. And it's Washington the other way. Outside, Wall. Oh, the one-hand jam.
We see more and more point guards with that kind of impressive dunking ability, don't we?
Absolutely. We're seeing more and more of that kind of explosiveness. In fact, the point guard now has never been as prominent and as important, I think, in the game than it is right now.
I agree.
Some of that is the rule changes, guys. No hand checks. The floor is more spread. But, yeah, this new breed of athletic point guard is so exciting. Well, guys, you know, we've seen some pretty horrific injuries as a result of players being fouled while suspended in the air. And you know, a lot of the game does happen off the floor. And the NBA took some strides to try to make it safer for players last season with the rule changes. So if you're in a vulnerable position on your way to the basket and you get fouled, pretty good chance it would be deemed a flagrant one.
Drop steps. The rebound by Anderson.
He tried that leaner, and to me, it probably got him off balance a little bit. Probably should have gone straight up.
Davis kicks to Aminu. Okafor with the steal. Oh, and here we go. Wall's got it. The fast break chance. Stolen by Rivers. Davis with it. Now Okafor defending. Here's Rivers. And again, New Orleans has no luck. Steve, you go back to protecting players in the air. So many players now can jump so high. The game is played in so many ways above the rim. This just seems like the best move for everyone.
Well, anything that is involved with player safety, I'm all for. And so if that means calling more flagrant fouls and keeping guys from injuring each other in midair, then that's a good thing. Well, the outcome is not in question now. They've got it all wrapped up.
Agreed. I mean, they're just looking to simply run the clock out now.
Here's Wall. And that is good.
Love the finish there. Not much defense, though.
So we see the Hornets taking the win here. How much to be critical of with this win, Clark?
Not at all. I mean, they showed up not just to play. They showed up to give great effort and to win, and they did both.
And that about wraps it up for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA presented by 2K Sports. And now, Jordan presents our player of the game, Anthony Davis.
Hold up, son. Word. Hold up, son. Word.